I'm a 37-year-old man, happily married to Kate, a 35-year-old female, and we've been together for 2 years. Kate is a professor at City College, while my professional endeavors revolve around the realm of marketing. Our paths crossed at a mutual friends gathering, and from there, we cultivated a friendship that extended to social media connections. However, despite the virtual bond, nothing significant developed between us initially, as she was involved in a relationship at the time, and I, too, had experienced an on and off relationship about 4 years prior. The turning point occurred on Kate's birthday when, well past midnight, I extended my wishes on Facebook. That seemingly innocuous gesture led to a night-long conversation, culminating in us meeting the following day for coffee. With no birthday plans in place, I took her out to dinner and a leisurely drive, setting the stage for what would evolve into a fulfilling relationship. Fast forward to 2 years ago, and we sealed our commitment through marriage. Remarkably, just last month marked the celebration of our second anniversary. However, the smooth course of our lives encountered a jolt a few weeks back when a friend informed me of a sighting involving Kate and a conspicuously younger man in his 20s. Initially nonchalant, I questioned the significance of their proximity, considering he could be a mere friend. Yet, my friend hesitantly conveyed that their body language suggested otherwise, an intimacy that went beyond platonic. A lingering gaze, a hand on Kate's waist, and almost lips brushing her cheeks painted a picture my friend couldn't ignore. Though he refrained from capturing the moment, citing its abruptness and the public setting, my skepticism lingered. Returning home, I found Kate immersed in a book, contemplating how to broach the subject without arousing suspicion. In the absence of an open dialogue about every minutiae of our days, I engaged in small talk. Fabricating a story about encountering an old school friend at a client meeting, I gauged her reaction. Her response, a nonchalant "that's nice, must have been great catching up," raised my concerns. Continuing the conversation about her day, she brushed it off as normal, divulging nothing noteworthy before returning to her book. The lingering unease persisted. If the man was a friend or colleague, wouldn't she have mentioned lunch with him? The ambiguity left me grappling with the dilemma of addressing my friend's account or maintaining the facade of normalcy in our seemingly harmonious marriage. From that day onward, a heightened sense of vigilance consumed my thoughts, prompting me to scrutinize Kate's every move with an unwavering focus. Several days passed under my watchful gaze, and yet, I unearthed no peculiarities in her conduct. However, my persistent unease propelled me to take the next step, a surreptitious investigation into her phone, a breach of trust that transpired one night while she lay asleep. Upon infiltrating her phone, a thorough examination of her inbox and social media unveiled an absence of anything incriminating, save for the routine exchanges with colleagues and students. My pursuit then shifted to her phone log, yet the records failed to yield any semblance of suspicion. Undeterred, I delved into the call history, narrowing my focus to the specific day my friend had witnessed her questionable encounter. A solitary entry surfaced, a call from a contact cryptically labeled Rumi 16, denoting a student from the 2016 batch. Kate's methodical approach to contact organization became apparent. She saved students with names and batch numbers for easy identification. A disconcerting revelation unfolded as I grappled with the implications. She was in close proximity not with a friend, but a student. The unsettling nature of such a liaison left me grappling with a bizarre and repulsive reality. Further exploration led me to the chats of her colleagues and friends, only to realize a glaring omission: the absence of conversations with her students. The inconceivable notion of my wife engaging romantically with a student sent shivers down my spine. Returning to her WhatsApp, I unearthed a chat labeled Room's Chat, laying bare a series of explicit exchanges over the past few months. The conversation traced back to 2016, containing messages of farewell and good wishes, providing a timeline that unraveled a clandestine affair. It emerged that 2 months prior, the student, referred to as Rumi, had returned to the city after a stint in Texas. The urgency to comprehend the entire narrative prompted me to export the chat to my email and erase the digital trail. A night spent immersed in the documented dialogue revealed a harrowing truth: Kate and Rumi had been involved physically during his college years, a liaison initiated when she took charge of his final year class. Rumi's gradual realization of Kate's affections led to a reciprocal flirtation, culminating in Kate confessing her unquenchable desire to experience his physical presence. As college drew to a close, Rumi, ensnared by the charms of a wealthy businessman's daughter in Texas, decided to relocate with his newfound love. Curiously, Kate's heartbreak manifested in Rumi's efforts to console her through numerous encounters in the waning months of his college tenure. Astonishingly, my revelation halted at the point of farewell, neglecting to explore the preceding messages. However, the decision to export the entire conversation proved invaluable, unraveling a tale of infidelity and deceit that Kate, in all likelihood, would never have disclosed in its entirety. The intricacies of the story also unveiled an unsettling truth: Kate, during that period, was concurrently dating someone else, painting a portrait of perpetual infidelity. The communication between Kate and Rumi had dwindled into sporadic birthday wishes, concealing a history of intimate transgressions that defied the boundaries of loyalty and fidelity. Around Christmas, approximately 3 months ago, Rai reached out to Kate, informing her of his return to the city with his now wife, the once rich girlfriend from Texas, whom he had married. Rai, brimming with audacity, initiated the conversation with Kate by expressing his longing for her body and a desire to savor her once again. Kate's initial responses indicated resistance, but, over time, she succumbed to his advances, engaging in multiple trysts, as deduced from the messages, which hinted at a tally of 4 to 5 encounters. As I delved into this disconcerting narrative, engrossed in scrutinizing the exchanges, the unfolding drama extended into the dawn, leaving me with a weighty revelation to grapple with. Balancing this emotional turmoil with the demands of the impending workday, I attempted to salvage some rest. However, by the time I awoke, Kate had already left for college, leaving me to prepare my breakfast and head to the office. Upon my return in the evening, an uncharacteristic absence greeted me. Kate, who typically returned home by 5 p.m., was nowhere to be found by 7 p.m. A habitual linger with friends and colleagues post-college never previously fazed me, but this time, a sense of urgency overcame me. I yearned for her presence, craving a confrontation that would bring closure to this tumultuous revelation. Armed with the evidence, there was no rationale for prolonging the inevitable. The truth was a relentless pursuit clawing at me. Restlessness gnawed at my composure, prompting me to call Kate and implore her to return home. Her inquiry about the unusual behavior highlighted the gravity of the situation, and within 30 minutes, she materialized at our doorstep. Seated on the front porch, devoid of devices, I awaited her, and as she approached, the gravity of the moment mirrored in her apprehensive countenance. She questioned the reason behind my demeanor, to which I apologized for disrupting her rendezvous with Rumi. My deliberate use of his name hung in the air, underscoring the severity of the revelation. Initially defensive, Kate accused me of baseless accusations and an invasion of her privacy. Unveiling the exported chat records, her facade crumbled, leaving her momentarily speechless. The ensuing silence was broken with an attempt to deflect blame. I pressed further, inquiring if her prior breakup had also been instigated by Rumi. Initially evasive, she ultimately admitted to the connection between her student liaisons and the demise of her past relationship. My incredulous laughter pierced through the tension, questioning the wisdom of jeopardizing a stable relationship for a man who had meticulously arranged his life. Her retort, an admission that he was addictive, only heightened the absurdity of the situation. If Kate had possessed a modicum of the self-respect she exhibited on that fateful day, the divorce papers should be signed uncontested. However, her departure was marked by silence, as if the revelation of her infidelity and my transgression of checking her phone were synonymous crimes. An ominous energy emanated from her, indicating a reluctance to release her grip easily. Had she maintained civility, perhaps I could have considered a less confrontational resolution. Yet her tantrums fueled a fervent desire within me to dismantle her ego. Driven by a vengeful impulse, I initiated a search for Rumi on social media before the inevitable blocking. Scrutinizing his wife's private profile, I extended a friend request, but met with reluctance, prompting me to take a more direct approach. 2 days later, with her acceptance still elusive, I forwarded select excerpts of the explicit chat between Rumi and Kate. The response was prompt, and within an hour, Rumi's wife sought further details about my identity. I revealed myself as Kate's husband, the same individual with whom Rumi had engaged in extramarital affairs. Sending her a section of the conversation where Rumi discussed her and her affluent father's business, I further offered to share the entire dialogue. Desiring a face-to-face revelation, I refrained from making a move, conscious of the potential creepiness. Opting for email correspondence, I provided Rumi's wife with the full chat and detailed the circumstances leading to my discovery. I urged her to scrutinize the messages for clarity. Her eventual response, inquiring if I had confronted Kate, led to an assurance that she would involve her father in dealing with Rumi, after which she went offline. Concern for her well-being grew as days passed without updates. Meanwhile, my attorney diligently worked on preparing divorce papers, a necessary step toward closure in this tumultuous chapter. I remained vigilant, awaiting the opportune moment to provide an update on the escalating situation. Grateful for the affirmation and support received from those who perceived my decision as a brave move, I felt a surge of positivity amidst the upheaval. In subsequent updates, I shared developments regarding Rumi's wife's prolonged silence, sparking suspicions about her safety. Eventually, she responded, dispelling concerns about her well-being and revealing the strategic measures taken in response to Rumi's persistent attempts at contact. Unveiling an ingenious maneuver, her parents refrained from confronting Rumi directly about the infidelity, instead highlighting alleged accounting issues in the office he managed. Implicitly, they demanded he distance himself from his wife until the matter was resolved. Rumi, unable to pinpoint the sudden suspicion, found himself entangled in a web of accusations related to professional matters rather than infidelity. The calculated approach by his in-laws showcased a classic move, avoiding a direct confrontation regarding the cheating allegations while addressing matters that could potentially inflict more significant damage. As the intricate dance between legal matters and personal vendettas unfolded, I committed to providing further updates as the situation evolved. Having been asked to pay alimony for the mental stress inflicted upon Rumi's wife, my father-in-law displayed an unusual disdain for monetary compensation. Instead, he harbored a fervent desire to dismantle Rumi. A few days later, Rumi himself reached out to me, his exact words resonating with incredulity, labeling my wife as effing delusional, fabricating stories, and insisting on marriage despite a notable age difference of 10 years between them. Rumi, while acknowledging our past physical encounters, expressed his inability to marry every person he slept with. The convoluted twist emerged when Rai, confiding in Kate about his predicament with his in-laws, claimed that I leaked the explicit chats to Rumi's wife. However, Rumi refuted any discussion about the affair, asserting that concerns revolved around accounting issues within the company. In his delusion, Rumi believed Kate sought to exploit the situation to coerce him into matrimony. Amidst the chaos, approximately a month post-DDAY, the divorce papers were meticulously prepared. Taking a decisive step, I contacted Kate's mother, inquiring if Kate resided with her. The revelation that Kate was not present left her in disbelief. Reluctantly, I disclosed the truth, prompting her to seek evidence, but by then, I was weary of proving myself to everyone. Informed of my intention to dispatch the divorce papers to her residence for Kate's signature, an onslaught of abusive voicemails ensued, accusing me of ruining her life and Rumi's. Enduring the verbal onslaught, I refrained from blocking her, driven by a desire to witness the extent of her hostility. Despite the brevity of my relationship compared to others who shared tales of infidelity, 4 long years with this woman made the separation painful. Having weathered her verbal assault, I eventually blocked her a week later. However, she remained obstinate, refusing to sign the divorce papers. Seeking insight from Rumi's wife, I discovered she was indulging in a holiday devus to alleviate depression, while her father grappled with Rumi. The affluent, it seemed, possessed their unique methods of dealing with adversity. In this turbulent chapter, an update now heralds the conclusion of my divorce proceedings. Gratitude for the supportive comments flooded in, but a common suggestion emerged: dating Rumi's ex-wife, fueled by the compassion displayed in my updates. Dismissing such notions, I clarified my disinterest, asserting that she was not my type. The prospect of extravagant trips and reliance on her father's wealth did not align with my values. The focus now rested on distancing myself from Kate's tumultuous thoughts and embracing the onward trajectory of my life. In light of Rumi's case, Rumi's father-in-law took an assertive stance, accusing Rumi of embezzling company funds, a charge substantiated in court. Uncertain whether Rumi indeed siphoned money or was simply framed, the intricacies of his legal battles remained shrouded in mystery. Rumi's wife, a wealthy princess detached from the nuances of everyday life, remained oblivious to the details of her father's court victory. Leveraging Rumi's financial misconduct, His father-in-law strategically used it as grounds to sever ties between him and his daughter. Unfazed by the hefty settlement imposed upon Rumi, which included a substantial amount and a 3-month deadline for payment, Rumi's father-in-law demonstrated a ruthless resolve, inflicting not only financial ramifications but also tarnishing his reputation significantly. In the realm of my divorce proceedings, Kate resorted to cunning maneuvers before finally signing the papers. Despite her prior championing of feminism, she stooped to deceitful tactics, aiming to claim my house as alimony. The absurdity of her logic unfolded as she, the one who cheated, sought compensation. Gratitude from my competent lawyer and the evidence of her infidelity paved the way for securing my house from her avaricious clutches. Despite prevailing as the victor in the divorce, Kate complicated matters with false accusations, asserting to colleagues that I was the unfaithful party seeking to deprive her of the house. Unwilling to endure this distortion of truth, I retaliated by disseminating explicit chats with Rumi to her colleagues, unraveling the facade of sympathy she had garnered. The workplace became an arena for gossip, as Kate faced the repercussions of her actions. A confrontation ensued when Kate, fueled by rage, called me from a landline, berating me for leaking her chats. A cold, stern voice relayed a firm ultimatum: sign the papers or risk further exposure to her friends and college students. The threat resonated, compelling Kate to concede to the divorce terms and sign the papers during the subsequent court hearing. Finally free from the shackles of her manipulative trap, I emerged divorced and liberated. While friends urged me to embark on a dating journey, I opted for a hiatus, desiring a period of reflection before diving into new relationships. As for Rumi's wife, my connection with her ended with the finality of my divorce. Disinterested in the outcome of Rumi's court case, my focus shifted toward erasing traces of the past and embracing a fresh start. Drawing inspiration from Ruiz's ex-wife, I contemplated a solo trip, not to Vus but to Montana, envisioning a rejuvenating mountain trek. Grateful for the support received, I concluded with appreciation for those who listened, urged, and cheered, expressing anticipation for the next chapter. Until we meet again, take care.